Teresa of Avila worked alongside John of the Cross, a Christian mystic and also a Carmelite monk. John worked to reform the Carmelite order back towards simplicity and contemplation. And for that, he was imprisoned by his fellow monks. He was locked in a narrow stone cell, almost no light, little food. He was only taken out once a week to be beaten publicly. 9 months in isolation. And there, in literal darkness, he wrote the lines that would become the dark night of the soul. John made a shocking claim. The dark night is the inflowing of God into the soul, not abandonment, inflowing. He believed spiritual maturity requires purification. Early faith often runs on emotional warmth, comfort, inspiration. But deeper love grows when God removes the emotional sweetness. I want you to think about that for a minute. Deeper love grows when God removes the emotional sweetness. Prayer feels dry. Worship feels empty. Scripture feels silent. Not because God has left, but because God is drawing the soul beyond feelings into communion. Divine light can feel like darkness when our eyes are adjusting. You know, I shared with you a couple weeks ago when I began this series that when I was a young man, when I was 8 years old, I walked the aisle in the Baptist church because I didn't want to go to hell, but I felt that I was supposed to do that. It was done out of fear, and it was also done that this was the thing we were supposed to do at about the age that we were supposed to do it, and I was baptized. At age 13 at Philmont Scout Ranch, I sat on a cliff looking out upon the expanse, and I saw the face of God and God's creation. And any doubt that God existed disappeared as I had what I understood was a natural revelation. I would say from that moment up until I was about 45 years of age, I always encountered God in worship services and at youth camp and in sacred moments and at the communion table, but it was always on the exterior and it was always fleeting. But about 6 years ago, when we were on a medical mission in the Philippines, when I was spending time alone and in prayer, I looked inside. I liken it to being in a swivel chair spinning around, and throughout my life I would get glimpses of God as I turned, but it was always a fleeting glimpse. But it's like I turned the chair inward and I put my feet down and I'm staring into the face of God, into the face of the divine. And while I wanted to feel ashamed because I realized that God was right there inside of me, just as fast as the shame wanted to rise up, it dissipated and I could feel a divine chuckle inside of me. As God said that we are who we are because of the gutters that we've walked through. Don't be ashamed of that. God is present in each of us. Now, mine wasn't a pretty castle like Teresa of Avila, made of crystal and fine decor. It was kind of dark, but God was there, and He was present.